Now, we're going to talk about Victoria in a moment, but I just wanted to get down to a bit of a hip pocket nerve issue. It struck me that the question of trust is something the ACTU doesn't get. Now, Daisy, I think the ACTU, by saying don't give us tax cuts, don't give workers tax cuts, are saying you can't trust workers with their own money. I would have thought getting more money into the pockets of more people made more sense than denying people tax cuts. What do you reckon?
Oh, well, exactly. I mean, this is strange distrust that the left and sort of the union left has of your everyday person to manage their own money and manage their own lives. It's sort of insulting. You know what I mean? It treats the general public like they're children and they need to be managed and they have to have funds doled out because, you know, businesses can't organise themselves and that, oh, they might just exploit people, etc., etc., etc. It's such a lack of faith in the individual, you know, this lack of desire to give people financial freedom. And what struck me about Sally McManus, I believe she said that, look, sure, if you cut taxes, people will get a minor, you know, pay increase week to week, but, you know, that doesn't mean anything if you're going to have to pay more for the doctor. Well, I'm sorry, that is the most elitist thing I think I have ever heard. Even a minor pay increase that could be given to people from a bit of a tax cut is going to be a welcome change to an awful lot of people at the moment, given what's happened. And it incentivizes people to get back to work and gives them hope for their own funds and their own future. So sorry, I'm so sick of this kind of left-wing distrust and condescension of the general public. We know how to spend our money better than any government does, that's for sure.
Well, that's right. I mean, Carol, the other point, of course, is that the alternative plans from the ACTU include things like pandemic leave and all these extra costs to bosses and businesses. Businesses are struggling right now, and the more taxes, charges, add-on costs and so forth that don't produce any productive outcome is going to damage the economy. A tax cut at least liberates money and gives it back to the economy.
Well, that's right, Gary. One could say who needs enemies when you've got friends like the ACTU when you're a worker. I mean, you know, the ACTU, they support all the green initiatives and they support high energy costs and they support, you know, an Australia-wide carbon policy which makes Australian businesses completely uncompetitive. But as Daisy has said, they don't trust the Australian public, the worker, to be able to do what they want with their own money with tax cuts. And, you know, it may grate on them in all bits and pieces, but really we need to be giving every bit of tax relief that we can at the moment to workers and businesses to really try and get our economy moving again. As we've said, this 6-week shutdown in Victoria is going to cost a minimum of $6 billion, and you know this could be the tip of the iceberg. So I just think that really it is just elitist, as Daisy has said, that you've got to be able to trust people to know how they can best spend their money, and any tax cut is good.
Yeah, I would have thought so, Bronwyn. I mean, if this is a point of principle, you and I have talked about it. We were talking about it with Paul Murray the other night as well. I mean, the key thing here now is we need smaller government. We need less tax. We need less red tape. We need less regulation. The last thing we need are new layers of costs to business, which is what the ACTU are proposing.
Well, Gary, of course, the ACTU is a classic socialist movement. It is collectivist. It wants to coerce the individual and individual businesses into accepting their will. And tax cuts are absolutely essential for businesses to try and revive. We are seeing a recession not because of any other reason that the government actually has brought it upon our economy because of the Wuhan virus. And that means that to get them back to work, they're going to need every single solitary thing we can do to assist them. Small businesses in particular, they use their own capital, their own initiative, and they employ people. They are productive, they bring wealth to the nation and wealth into individuals' pockets by way of being in employment. We need to give them not only tax cuts, we need to give them the wherewithal that they can compete against even slave labour when they're making a product. And that's why we have to have cheap electricity. That's why I keep saying we have to get out of Paris. That's why I say we have to cut red tape. That's why we have to cut green tape. That's why we have to have a big red pencil that goes through all waste. that government currently spends on. But tax cuts have to be the starting point. But we keep talking about it. We keep talking and talking and talking. When are we going to see action? Girls and boys in Canberra, when are you going to act? And if you're not, could you tell us why?